good news is that kids are going to college. That's the good news. Kids want to go to college. They're graduating, which means in order for them to go to college, they have to graduate from high school. So if more kids are going to college, it says something about what's happening in the schools.
Good morning.
The schools are doing better. Kids are graduating. We're
Executive
nowhere
Director of the
where we need to
City
be. We're not
of Learning
completely out of the woods, that's for sure.
Also
So this is
known
not a
as
celebration. It is
housed
really
at Rutgers
an
University
opportunity for us to
North.
take a look at
And
what
I'm
is
pleased to
happening.
welcome you
It's a
to this
point, like
historic
a metric
occasion,
that we look at and say,
the
this is where we
launching of
are,
New
this
York's
is where we need
public
to be, and this is where we
conversation
want to go.
on how
we
we
are,
build
and it also tells us
and
we're moving
sustain
forward.
the city's college-going culture.
The game changer for us
As many
in
of you
Newark
know,
is providing
NCLC
access to
exists
college
due to the
our
reality
6th, 7th,
that
and 8th
not enough
graders.
Newark residents
The
are
good
earning the
news,
degrees
as you've been hearing
and
here
credentials
today,
necessary
is that our city,
to
the
compete
city of
for
Newark,
viable
has
employment
made
in our
incredible
city's
progress
economy.
at reversing the
That's
odds
why
for
Mayor
so many
Ras
Newark
Baraka,
kids.
Rutgers
In many
Newark
of our
Chancellor
city's
Nancy
high schools,
Cantor,
we are already
and a
closing
number
the
of
gap
city
with the
leaders
national
gathered
average
here
for college
today
completion.
came
Let's have
together
a round
in
of applause for that. That's really
2015
something to be proud of.
to establish and support the goal of 25
We should all be incredibly
by
proud,
2025.
as the mayor said,
That
this
is
collective
25%
effort
of all
coming
Newark
together
residents
to help our young people
holding
build
at
a
least
successful
an
pathway
associate's
to
degree
and
or
through
higher
higher education.
by the year 2025. In an effort to keep our city informed of the progress we're making toward that goal, this summer, NCLC released the first comprehensive analysis of post-secondary outcomes, tracking enrollment, persistence, and completion trends for students across all sectors in the city: district, charter, vocational technical, and parochial. And our data confirms some good news. More of our young people are indeed going to college. 54%, that does deserve a round of applause. 54% of the students in our study immediately enrolled in college within the next academic year. That's up from 39% of earlier cohorts of looking at just MPS graduates. One of those students is here with us today, Erica Baque Ordonez, an Eastside High School graduate who recently earned a degree from Montclair State University. But we also know from our research that not enough of our students are persisting toward degree completion. Just 23% of 2011 high school graduates in our sample earned a certificate or degree within 6 years. 6 years has become a common measure for completion nationwide in light of the fact that on average,
How do we
students
keep
are
our
taking more
kids
than
in
4
school?
years to earn a degree.
We got them excited
You
about
can
being
find
here.
the
We got them
report
in the
in
door.
its
We got them in the
entirety
seat.
by
Now,
visiting
how do we make them stay?
2025.
How do we create a college-going culture? How do you teach
the
our
question,
children,
of course, for us as a
to
city
perform? Newark
is how do
is
we
collectively
collectively
trying to move our
respond to
city
these
forward.
findings?
And I know all of us don't
We're
always
fortunate
agree.
that our mayor
And I know
will help
sometimes
us
some of
kick
us
off
spend more
the
time on our
launch
disagreements
of a
than our
public
children's
conversation
success.
that will take
And we
place
just
in
have
every
to,
ward
on
how all
NCLC is
Newark
an opportunity to
can
get by
help
that.
us to maintain
So
our
when we say
momentum,
Newark 2020, we need our
getting more of
corporations to
of our young
hire
people
more
to
Newark residents.
and through
We have to
college.
prepare the Newark
first of these
residents to
roundtables
get
will
those
take place
jobs
at Eastside
that we're
High School
demanding that
from
the
6 to 8
corporations
p.m.
give to our
on October
residents.
the
We don't
2nd,
want them to give it
and
to them
there's a
because they're not
tentative
ready, they're not
schedule in your
prepared. In fact,
folders
we know
with additional dates
our
around
residents
the
are
city.
ready and prepared, and we
In
want to
addition
prove
to
it even
hearing
more by
from the
making
mayor
sure we
today,
produce
we'll hear
students
remarks from
that are
Newark
ready,
Public
that are
Schools
prepared, that can not only just work
Roger
in these
Lyon.
corporations, but can actually
Essex
run
County
them.
Schools of Technology Superintendent, Dr. James Peterson. KIP, New Jersey Chief External Officer, Ben Cope. And from St. Benedict's Prep, Dean of Students and College Placement, DDA JeanBaptiste. We'll then have the signing of the joint statement of commitment before closing out our program. Before we go any further, allow me to make a few acknowledgments. The NCLC Post-Secondary Outcomes Report would not have been possible without the generous support of the Prudential Foundation and the Terrell Fund. We're pleased that Catherine Garcia is here today representing the Prudential Foundation, and Anita Clark is here representing the Terrell Fund. Let's give them a round of applause. We're grateful to our co-authors for the incredible contribution they've made to our understanding of college-going trends of Newark students. Dr. Jeffrey Backstrand and Dr. Christy Donaldson. Dr. Donaldson is over there hiding. She's here with us this morning. This effort, of course, was a joint project of NCLC and the Rutgers University Newark School of Public Affairs and Administration. We're grateful that the dean of the school, Dr. Charles Minifield, is also here with us today. As you know, NCLC is housed at the Joseph C. Cornwall Center for Metropolitan Studies. We're pleased to have the center's director, Dr. Charles Payne, joining us this morning. Now, in this mighty front row, our president of the State Board of Education is here, Mr. Arcilio Aponte. Next to him, the county exec, Joseph DiFincenzo, is also here with us today. I'm told that Deputy Mayor Jackie Quillis is in the room, School Board Member Asia Norton, School Board Chair Josephine Garcia. Let's give them acknowledgement as well. There are two additional colleagues from Rutgers who have provided steadfast guidance and support, really hand-holding, over the past year and a half. That would be Marsha Brown, Senior Vice Chancellor of External and Government Affairs, and America's greatest chancellor, my chancellor, Nancy Cantor. It is now my pleasure to ask the Honorable Ras Baraka to come forward, the only mayor in this city's history to have turned around a comprehensive high school. This is why we refer to him as the education mayor.
I'd like to, first, everyone was acknowledged, but Reg need to acknowledge itself for the incredible work you've been doing on NCLC, shepherding this through. Reginald Lewis has been doing an outstanding job, and I think really the premise behind NCLC is very obvious, and we want to thank Chancellor Cantor, of course, and all of the help you have at Rutgers that have been assisting us of realizing that, Rutgers University and all the institutions like that are actually part of Newark, and that their job is not simply to educate students. It is also a part of transforming a community that you live in, and families and students that actually live in Newark are part of that community. And so we work feverishly to make these things happen, and it creates an ecosystem where people are forced even to work together. Collaboration is a skill that people have to learn. It doesn't come naturally. Speaking of that, I just want to thank the county executive for being here as well, being here in the city of Newark, where he's from, really, being a part of what we're doing here in Newark. The county vocational schools have a large number of Newark students in them, and having them on board also helps us to create the ecosystem that I talked about. Superintendent Lyon is here. I think that he has hit the ground running, very excited. About the charge that he's given to the employees of the school district, to the students as well, getting them really, really focused on outcomes, and that's incredibly important for us. And I'm excited that everybody, all of the different factions, if you will, are here in this room, and we take that to mean that Newark is collectively trying to move our city forward. And I know all of us don't always agree. And I know sometimes some of us spend more time on our disagreements than our children's success. And we just have to, NCLC is an opportunity to get by that. We're not going to, we're going to struggle, we're going to disagree, we're going to fight, but ultimately our children's success is what should be on our mind fundamentally most of the time. Every time we get together, most of the time we should be talking about our children's success. The good news is that kids are going to college. That's the good news. Kids want to go to college. They're graduating, which means in order for them to go to college, they have to graduate from high school. So if more kids are going to college, it says something about what's happening in the schools. The schools are doing better. Kids are graduating. We're nowhere where we need to be. We're not completely out of the woods, that's for sure. So this is not a celebration. It is really an opportunity for us to take a look at what is happening. It's a point, like a metric that we look at and say, this is where we are, this is where we need to be, and this is where we want to go. And it also tells us we're moving forward, right? So we're moving forward, but how fast are we moving forward, right? And sometimes, individually, we think that, we want to move forward fast. We want to move forward fast as individuals, and we do that. And we outpace everybody else, and we leave folks behind because we're in competition. But we found out if we want to go far, we have to go together, right? We have to go together. If we want to go far, we need to go collectively. You can go fast by yourself and wave, but we want to go far, so we need to go together. That means everybody needs to hold hands, and I know that's difficult, on this and make it happen. And so what Reginald was talking about is our opportunity to have these public discussions around how do we keep our kids in school. We got them excited about being there. We got them in the door. We got them in the seat. Now how do we make them stay? How do we create a college-going culture? How do you teach our children to perform, to graduate, like Ms. Ordonez here, to not only just graduate, but to pursue, post-secondary degrees, more degrees, to increase your skill, right? Particularly since the city is growing and moving, we need our children to be able to have these jobs that are coming to our city. So I'm gonna sit down. So there are two specific things. NCLC works directly with Newark 2020. So when we say Newark 2020, we need our corporations to hire more Newark residents. We have to prepare the Newark residents to get those jobs that we're demanding that the corporations give to our residents. We don't want them to give it to them because they're not ready, they're not prepared. In fact, we know our residents are ready and prepared, and we want to prove it even more by making sure we produce students that are ready, that are prepared, that can not only just work in these corporations, but can actually run them. And that's incredibly important for us in the city, and that's our thinking behind all this. So I want to thank all of you for coming out, for being a part of what we're doing, and hopefully you're not just here for the press conference, that when Reginald calls you, that you show up, right? So we appreciate you and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We want to acknowledge our esteemed Chair of the City Council, Mildred Crump, who has just joined us. Her colleague, Councilwoman LaMonica McIver, is also in the room. School Board Vice Chair Dawn Haynes has also just joined us. I'd like to now ask the young man who is the first locally appointed leader of the Newark Public Schools in 22 years, Superintendent Roger Lyon, to come forward.
Good morning. Good morning. To the mayor, distinguished elected officials, board president, board vice president, board member Norton, members of my staff, and concerned citizens. As is in life, we have defining moments that are so profoundly impactful that they change your life, those you love, and even the lives of so many others just as equally. Some yearn for the moment to just have one such experience, while others seek for the day to create just one more. Today is that time. Today is that moment. The mayor established an expectation he has for the residents of this great city by 2025. The data from the Newark City of Learning Collaborative by Reggie Lewis and his team studied this city's graduates and are providing recommendations. It is my responsibility to create the roadmap with clear objectives and milestones for our schools to get there. The chancellor, the presidents, and all of the institutions of higher education in this city, and within NCLC more specifically, are critical and integral partners in our success. We thank them, and this morning unequivocally announce that we need them unlike ever before. The reported graduation rates of 78% today are much higher than the 55% reported approximately 10 years ago. The reporting of 55% was always unacceptable then, and 78% is unacceptable today. We have greatness in our schools, but Newark, the great state of New Jersey, this incredible country, and yes, even this world, is potentially being denied solutions to the most serious problems people are facing, and those problems yet unknown to humankind, because Newark is not getting it right. Well, that changes today. As the leader and person responsible for the education of all of the children in this city, I am clear that the work requires the community to assume responsibility for its own fate. So, we will establish a bar, and it will be set real high. With the power of the office of the mayor of the largest city in the state, and the where passion meets progress of this school district, we stand ready and poised for the work ahead. NPS Clarity 2020 is the district's one-year strategic plan that by January 2020 will set the stage for the nation's first ever 10-year strategic plan, the next decade of education in this city. More of that sure to come in the months and years ahead. In order to accomplish all that is before us, we will begin to accelerate timelines. We can't have seniors in high school worrying about college in their senior year. Arguably, junior year is too late as well. Access to college in the middle grades will be the focus in this school district. The game changer for us in Newark is providing access to college to our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. That work begins just in a few weeks for 1,100 8th graders with the administration of the PSAT 8, and even more to come throughout the middle of this school year into the summer for all of our students in the middle grades. We will redefine the focus of our students and their families to understand that for all of us to get ahead, we cannot and will not work from a deficit model and start further behind. We will accelerate learning in this school district and meet the expectations outlined by NCLC. Last week, Reggie met and presented to all of the principals, pre-kindergarten, elementary, and high schools. Tomorrow morning, he meets with all and presents to the school counselors in pre-kindergarten, elementary, and high schools. And in the coming days, we begin to spread the word in these community conversations across the wards throughout this great city. And that's how we are going to get it all done. And that is how we will always do it all the time, by collaborating and partnering. I have lived my entire life in this city and have worked for no other school district but this one. In the last couple of weeks, I have met with thousands of people from my start date as superintendent on July 1. We have so many people who care about this city and want to see her successful. We will reciprocate that love by this school district getting it right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Lyon. I'm told that Councilman Eva Ramos has joined us as well. I'm now pleased to invite the man, forgive me, County Exec, most responsible for the opening of the county's new 320,000 square foot Donald M. Payne School of Technology, which will prepare thousands of Newark students for the vast opportunities that await them in the STEM professions. Superintendent of the Essex County Schools of Technology, Dr. James Peterson.
Thank you, Reginald. You already got me in trouble. I want to thank the mayor for spearheading this project, the NCLC. I'd like to thank our county executive because we couldn't do anything at the county schools without him. So, Mr. DiVincenzo, thank you very much. And all the elected officials, because I know this is a collaboration that the mayor talked about, and that is extremely important. When Reginald came to me and said, "Are you interested in finding out what happens to your kids after high school?" I said, yes. I said, that is the most important thing. That's something that we believe in at the county schools. And remember, many of our kids come from the Newark area, come from Newark, I'm sorry. We want to find out because this is a different time. We don't care about kids, as the mayor said, just graduating high school. We're beyond that. We need to look at what's happening after colleges and careers. That's what we do at the Essex County Schools of Technology, and we are proud to partner with Reginald, with Newark, and we want to make sure that we have many hands make light work, and all together we could have our children succeed. This way our futures could be a lot brighter, because that's every day I go to school and I see our students, I look at the future of our country, the future of our city, the future of our county. And that's what's important, because that is the real investment. Money comes and goes, but those children are going to help us out with our Social Security, with our pensions and everything like that. But they're going to take care, they're the custodians of what's going to happen with our country and our community. So I'm very, very proud to work with Superintendent from the Newark Public Schools. Roger has been very good with Kip's Academy, with the mayor, with Reginald. Thank you very much, and we look forward to doing this some more. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Peterson. KIPP New Jersey is one of the oldest charter networks in Newark, and they continue to demonstrate the spirit of collaboration across school sectors, most recently enabling Newark Public School guidance counselors to take part in KIPP's National Professional Development Seminar. Here, representing KIPP is Mr. Ben Cope, Chief External Officer.
Good morning. Sorry, I need special microphone accommodations. My name is Ben Cope, and as you heard, I'm the Chief External Officer for KIPP New Jersey. On behalf of all of us at KIPP, we're just thrilled to be involved in this project. Thank you to Reginald, thank you to the mayor, thank you to the superintendents. We're happy to be here alongside you. As we work to reverse the odds for Newark kids, this sort of pinpoint insight and transparency into the data that drives that work is vitally important. We want to thank our longstanding partners at Prudential and Turl Fund for helping to make this possible. And again, just grateful to be a part of this. I'm a bit of a data nerd. For the last 13 years in this work, I've been wondering, where can we find this data on how our kids are doing in the long run? Earning a four-year college degree has a transformational impact on students' lives, earning potential, ability to buy a home, secure a job with strong benefits. But one of the greatest inequities on the path to the American dream is the radically uneven access to college that divides students from low-income households from their counterparts in wealthier communities. We know from a variety of studies that kids from low-income households have an 8 to 10% chance of finishing college, whereas 7 miles from here at Montclair High School, 5 miles down the road at Columbia High School, the kids in the top quartile of income in the nation have an 80% chance of finishing college. A 10x disparity in the chance to get a college degree is nothing short of a travesty. The good news, as you've been hearing here today, is that our city, the city of Newark, has made incredible progress at reversing the odds for so many Newark kids. In many of our city's high schools, we are already closing the gap with the national average for college completion. Let's have a round of applause for that. That's really something to be proud of. We should all be incredibly proud, as the mayor said, of this collective effort coming together to help our young people build a successful pathway to and through higher education. Personally, I'm incredibly proud of all of our KIPP students and alums. Their hard work and accomplishments speak for themselves. Lastly, as you heard mentioned, I'm also happy to announce today that we have just launched a new collaboration with Superintendent Lyon and Newark Public Schools, and we're now sharing some of KIPP's admissions and data practices in order to expand college access and opportunities for all Newark students. It's just a pilot with 3 high schools this year, but we hope to expand to more NPS high schools in the very near future. This is a tremendous start for Newark's kids. Let's keep going. This work is not finished until all of our kids have the same chance of finishing college as the kids down the road in the wealthiest suburbs. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. As many of you know, St. Benedict's Preparatory School has provided an outstanding education to young men in our city since 1868. That's over 150 years. So rounding out our comments this morning will be DDA JeanBaptiste, Dean of Seniors and College Placements at the school.
Thank you, Reggie. First, on behalf of St. Benedict's Headmaster, Father Edwin Leahy, I want to congratulate you, Reggie, and the Newark City of Learning Collaborative on this tremendous study. Thank you also to the Prudential Foundation, to Prudential in general, and the Foundation, the Toro Fund, two longtime supporters of St. Benedict's too, and of this study. As a private school graduating just about 110 seniors each year, we know how much data we had to feed you, Reggie, Christy, and the rest of the staff in NCLC. I can't imagine the work that you did on your end when you received the data, not just from our students, but from thousands across the city. So the study is a tremendous accomplishment, and we thank you for taking it on. All of that hard work was more than worth it, though. The study provides us with encouraging data about what our young people are doing in terms of enrolling in and completing college, and gives us some clues about the directions our community can take to improve those statistics. We partner schools can see that we have much to learn from one another, as we each have different ways of mentoring our students to college and through college. Hopefully in 4, 5, and at the most 6 years. Our strength, St. Benedict's strength, is our close alumni network, which allows us, through the grapevine, our informal grapevine, to know where just about any one of our college-age alumni is at any moment. If something's going wrong with one of our guys at a college somewhere in this country, word gets to one of us somehow, and we're able to reach out and try to resolve the situation. We can, however, for example, learn from Kip's more formal and proactive approach of following up with their graduates consistently and systematically. We have something to share about building a community that monitors itself, but we also have much to learn about putting in place systems that can alert us of problems before they show up on the grapevine. We look forward to continuing to work with the NCLC and its growing list of partners, secondary schools and colleges, community-based organizations, foundations and corporations, and the families in Newark to develop strategies and approaches that will lead to an even greater number of our young men and women enrolling in and completing college. Thank you.
Thank you, DDA. I want to acknowledge Ms. Antoinette Richardson, the Mayor's Chief Education Officer, who's also with us here today. Let's give all of our partners a round of applause for the incredible work they do on behalf of the city's children. Now, you heard me mention earlier this joint statement of commitment. Our partners will now memorialize this unprecedented moment of collaboration through the signing of the statement of commitment. And let me read it to you. It's very short. In recognition of our unprecedented partnership to collaboration on the Newark City Learning Collaborative's Post-Secondary Outcomes of Newark High School Graduates Report, we, the undersigned, unequivocally affirm our commitment to continue our joint pursuit of higher levels of college enrollment and completion for all of the city's children. We therefore declare continued cooperation to share data across school sectors in ways that enable the city to monitor enrollment, persistence, and completion patterns. We further declare to strategically share best practices that will elevate the quality of college advising across the city, as well as the availability of resources for students facing barriers to degree attainment. And we declare our firm commitment to engage our students and families in the college preparation process early and often, ensuring they have access to the information and tools that lead to high academic achievement and successful post-secondary attainment. And it is done. This concludes our press conference today. The mayor and our partners will now take a photo.
I'm Christy Donaldson. I'm one of the co-authors of the recent report that came out on post-secondary attainment for Newark High School grads. Today's press conference talked about the public conversations that we'll be having throughout the fall to talk about the report's findings, some encouraging news about increasing college enrollment, increasing college attainment, and some things to work on for the city. And that's what we're going to be focusing on in our conversations in the fall in each ward of the city.